So before we get started, I think Hyderabad has to be AI capital. And if I think about any major transformation like this, everyone is talking about AI is becoming like a general purpose technology. AI is becoming an electricity, like everyone start using at some point of time. What is the big mission, vision you have at this point of time to make it happen?
So very good. I thought of saying good afternoon, but it's good evening, and sorry for the delay. First of all, I would like to convey my deep thanks to my friend, Mr. Vasu, Southwest, where he's conducting this Dakshin Dialogues, which is involving all our sister states into the part of our next age governance. And in fact, it's a very, very innovative thought on behalf of Mr. Vasu from Southwest to think of some issue where everybody nowadays is talking about, and especially in terms of technology. Technology has always been an enabler for many things. The point here, what you've been mentioning about is, frankly, I'm a non-technical guy. I don't have 27 years of experience in terms of technology to understand, to put it further. And I'm a policy maker, which we try to see that any technology which should enable our part of governance to make citizens' life more comfortable, the quality of the life of our citizens should be improved, and ultimately, it should be a win-win situation for the citizen and also on the part of government. So this is the real reason why I consider technology as a part and parcel in everybody's life. And today, AI is a buzzword for everybody. And tomorrow, in times to come, as you rightly put it, when somebody, was putting it in 2007 when first iPhone has come, nobody would have thought it would be so prevalent today. But now AI, which is coming up tomorrow, anybody, I think, including all citizens, from all walks of life, will be using AI to the core. Now what I see is, now the high school graduates are using AI to the core to improve their efficiency in terms of getting good marks or trying to enhance their knowledge, and also see that AI helps in each and every part of their life cycle. So here where we thought right now on the part of state of Telangana, when the simple logic all these days, most of the people who are from different parts of their life journey, who have excelled in that. I see, a very eminent lawyer and a judge sitting over here across. So we have too many people over there, legendaries sitting on the other side of the dais. My point here is we have to, in all aspects, even in judicial angle, even in social angle, the political angle or economic angle, our state should excel in all these terms. How shall we excel? How shall we leverage the technology into all fields of our lives and see that we shall contribute and we shall facilitate the new trends in technology to embrace and to harness and to integrate into our society so that we will be more evolved society in times to come. This is a broad angle as a policy maker. I just thought, and tomorrow the second angle is, if we are aiming for, and most of the people would have known it, and most of the people should have seen it, the dream of our governance in the part and parcel of our state progress in terms of economy. Our Chief Minister was specifically mentioning about in a decade's time from now, the government of Telangana should emerge as a major economic partner in terms of our national progress. So we are just having a dream of making our state of Telangana as a 1 trillion economy. And many gentlemen would think that, oh, 1 trillion, we are not even 1/10 of it while we are speaking on these days. The point here is if we have a dream, we can make our steps move forward for that. And if I have to make 1 trillion economy in the next decade, technology helps us to make a leap in terms of improving our economy. And what we have seen is lots of disruptions is taking place in technology. So that's where we just thought, me or my chief minister or my administrative colleagues who are assisting us, and the technical experts in the field of technology were assisting us. How do we harness this disruption? How do we integrate this disruption? How do we really harp on that and take a leap, as everybody knows it, and we are so proud that South India excels in terms of curating the technologies of tomorrow, and we are proud that all these five states are making a mark in terms of technology to the global world. Now, we have a very, very, very healthy competition going on. Where is Kerala? My counterpart, Honorable Minister, would have come here and shared his ideas about the technological impact on the governance. The Karnataka, my colleague would have come, and Tamil Nadu Minister would have shared his views, and many people would have shared their views about it. But still, there's a healthy competition between all these southern states to outgo each other state in terms of technology. That's a beautiful thing, what we think. And tomorrow, while I was speaking to our, my counterpart minister in Karnataka, we just thought, and we were having a healthy debate how we shall really see that tomorrow in point of time between Hyderabad and Karnataka, how do we connect? Then we were coming up to an idea of making the corridor, the technological corridor, what we can build over a few years between the state of Telangana and state of Karnataka. This is what we are envisaging it about it. And we would like to, keep all the strategies, how we can make a great hub between two technological giants. And I always joke with my, minister over there, who is also a close friend of mine. So I keep on telling, even though they excel and they try to do more in exports, we are still far below down in terms of our exports, software exports to other nations. But the only point is, I have challenged, and I took a challenge that, by making our Hyderabad, this city and this part of Telangana, to excel in AI so that we can take a leap in terms of making so many products from here and see that the exports grows into 10x and 20x, and also see that the research takes place in the state of Telangana. And I always believe now it's high time. It is high time that, we should not be a players like we export the dough to welcome a, prepared bread for others. So we are here to make bread for ourselves and try to export the bread to other countries. I mean to say that all these years, our gray matter, which is present in India, especially in Hyderabad, who were the key makers and key managers or key partners in terms of making products, they were mostly into the coding and enhanced coding. I think you will appreciate that. And the products after that, the remaining product, the completion of product used to take place in US and Europe countries, and the same product used to come here with high value. Now it's a high time where we can literally see that AI, if we can take a lead in that, we can make the products over here and we can export it. So we'll become the world leaders for tomorrow. This is the broad angle as a policymaker. We took it up and we are working on it. In times to come, how do we harness, how do we integrate, how do you model ourselves in times to come to see that our state, the state of Telangana and the Hyderabad becomes the AI global capital.
Thank you, sir. No, you talked about very interesting this morning. Also, quite a few speakers touched upon the entire southern states are generating 65% revenue from an IT exports perspective. I think it's interesting to know healthy competition between the various states to bring together. And most important, $1 trillion economy as we are building, ambition and aspiration. I think there is this famous saying in Africa talking about it takes a village to raise a child. Now, when we're talking about significant amount of collaboration that is required, this morning even Mr. B. Mohan Reddy Garu talked about, we focus more on coding, we focus more on services, but now is the world about products platform. Very nice to see just now Carping has announced a product which they're launching for it. I know there are lots and lots of such thing has to come, which means significant amount of capacity building required in Hyderabad, talent required, and even the ecosystem it required between multiple facets of public, private, institute. So any perspectives on that, any thoughts which you already started doing? I know there are many going on, but would like to share with the audience.
Yeah, thank you. And in fact, to move ahead from what the question you have been asking is, so how to make $1 trillion economy is, the crux. And when I already mentioned about the disruption part, what are the disruptive technologies? To share a view about AI, artificial intelligence, data analytics, quantum, cyber security. So all these are disruptive technologies, and we are planning to harness it. And second thing is coming down to how well we are equipped in terms of providing the required skill set for these high-end technologies. So we are working on it in the process. We are coming up with the skilling initiatives like Skill University. That high-end technological skill expertise will be imparted in the Skill University, where if you see, we have about 1 million GCC-ready talent right now available here. And every year, about a lakh and a half graduates get graduated from engineering sector. And one more lakh comes as STEM graduates. So this is a talent pool what we have right now. Either we have to reskill and upskill. Reskill and upskill their skill levels is most important part in terms of them getting trained in these specific disruptive technologies. For that, we have our skill universities. And if you see, for example, if you go to Amirpet Crossroads, the best skilling initiatives, the 4 years of their engineering graduates, after their graduation, they tend to see about going to Amirpet junction. I think everybody appreciates it. And many takes 3 months course or 6 months course or 9 months course or 12 months course over there. And just see, the industry requires certain sort of skill sets. And on the other side, the universities who have expertise in their academics produce the best of the students. They don't make them job ready. So that's where we found the gap. The gap is there, so we just want to bridge that gap, especially in terms of high-end technologies. And the Skill University will be a part and parcel to produce the skill sets required. So one aspect is, harnessing the critical technologies, cutting-edge technologies, and second level is to provide the skill set required tomorrow recently, we have gone to promote our industries in IT in US and South Korea. As usual, everybody were speaking about AI. And we were so curious that we've asked a couple of companies who were into AI, that are you getting the right skill for the AI? And they were specifically told us that we are not able to find the right people right now because it's in a nascent stage. And this is where we would like to take the advantage and see that tomorrow, if we provide the skill training for the people who would like to be involved in AI, and if we can provide the skill set required, ultimately it's not about, we will become the skill capital. Skill capital, anybody who is looking for the required skill set will be basing their industries, their IT companies back in Hyderabad. This is also one of the view of our governance, and we are moving ahead. In times to come, we would learn lots of things as how any company who is involving AI, in times to come, in next 2 to 3 years, by absorbing the data, by collecting the data, or by harnessing the data, becomes a greatest AI company. So we are trying to learn from so many other used cases where we will try to evolve ourselves and try to become the AI. So that's our vision.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, particularly the Skills University. I know that's been a biggest problem across the world. Whoever is coming as GCCs here, one of the reasons is about expecting a lot of skills here. Now, changing a little bit on that, the toughest problem over the years, we talk about employability, skills, and other things. But with AI, it's also actually a little delicate question in the minds of many people. How do we drive innovation with AI? Looks like it's solving many problems, making it easy for people, improving the productivity of the individual. But at the same time, there is a significant fear in terms of the regulatory things that are required within the organization, and I'm sure within the policymakers across the globe. I'm sure you must be interacting with many of them. How do you drive a delicate balance between innovation and regulation? Because one side, people are having crazy imagination about using AI, anything and everything, but the second side, people are worried about privacy, surveillance. How companies, particularly the governments and policymakers, should planning about it?
Yes, that's the best question. I think, any technology should not cross its barriers. In terms of having a regulatory framework is the most important criteria for any policymaker here. And times to come tomorrow, if we are literally seeing how the cyber security and how this is gaining importance as we are using most of the technology and most of our daily chores basing on the technology and on our instruments we hold. And these cyber threats, which is right now there, and tomorrow the time will come, how do we strictly come up with a policy on ethical use of AI? So these are things which has to be deliberated, which has to be discussed, and which has to go a long way while we frame up our laws. That's the real reason. In last month when we had AI Global Conventions, one of the topics was this: how can we frame our laws keeping in view of ethical use of AI? Because if systems goes haywire, or if an individual thinks he can use AI for his own use, keeping aside the ethical thinking or ethical practices which are existing, that will be detrimental to the society, and that will be detrimental to the state as such and to the nation. So these are all things which we are trying to understand, analyze before moving forward. And the regulatory framework, I think it's very necessary right now. Until and unless we have some sort of regulatory framework, to what extent we can use AI. AI can be used in governance, AI can be used in all verticals of industry. AI as such we use for our individual improvement of our performance and efficiency. But on a whole, we have to define, and we are going to define too, in times to come will define to what extent we can use the AI, the ethical use of AI, the regulatory framework. Tomorrow, we will be having, lot many discussions with, so many, policymakers. And we will be having a discussions with, uh, people who are involved in the legal system. And we would be having a discussions with the technological guys. Because keeping that limitation, we should not withhold ourselves in terms of improving our technology. So all these players, the stakeholders of this society will be involved in framing our regulations and putting a framework for that. And that will help to evolve and to see that the AI framework is so robust. If you have seen in Europe, Europe has a beautiful and very, very vibrant policy in terms of their AI.
Absolutely.
In terms of their AI policy. So these are all things where we are trying to learn from the beautiful lessons they've already put into practice. And in certain times where I was looking on in the aspect of education, the Switzerland holds a beautiful AI model of imparting education. So we would like to take all this best example and put into practice into our system. And we are already on the job and trying to analyze it, and we'll try to bring out a policy paper on that.
Yeah, that's very nice to hear, sir. Particularly, this has been the topic here as well. People, technology, governance, we talked about. Technology for the first time looks like doing little ahead of people getting ready. I think there are plans to make skills ready, and there are plans to make public awareness, etc. But now, changing the topic a little bit on the other side, the governance part, right? I think for the first time, probably Gen AI is giving an opportunity, even from a governance perspective, make lives easier for bureaucrats and others to day-to-day what they could eventually do, as well as public services maybe hopefully get much better with that. Are there a set of things within government of Telangana today we're launching and we're trying to do and adopt these technologies which are getting locally built? Is there anything you'd like to share and you'd like to encourage any of us to participate in that?
Sure. We would like to really harness AI into the system of our governance. And we are coming up with a beautiful and very vibrant a platform encompassing and putting all 18 department data on one platform. A very vibrant a platform we are trying to build. And we are also trying to see that the data with the government is so large. And the data is king in terms of AI. So how do we ourselves harness this data before the private players comes and takes the data and become the captains for the AI industry, so that in the process to come where we have to improve the efficiency and productivity of our government departments at large is the key. So we are trying to see that all the 33 departments on large will have two enablers on AI technology so that they will help in, data mining, which has been built over the past 70 years, and the data will be collected. And later, the data will be curated. What is the right required data is the key element in this. And we will try to see that ultimately efficiency and productivity and optimum use of resources is most important to us. And that's where we are taking a lead, and no other government as of now has taken a lead in it. And we will also see that the products available right now, which has little value for our governance system. And the companies who are here, who are more advanced in AI, we will try to consult them and try to bring into our system to improve our efficiency and also productivity, and see that the accountability, ultimately we are accountable to the people. Ultimately, our accountability to the people will be the most.
And absolutely, that sounds music to many of the people. I'm sure that will also help the sustainability development goals which you are actually tracking as a government. And it also reminds me of these days, everyone is ready for AI except your data. So people say about nobody has the right data, everyone is trying to make a AI decision. So it's nice to hear Telangana government is already curated many data sets and making it available. And I'm sure that's going to foster innovation within many startups we're planning. There is another dimension with these large language models which are coming. They're all hugely trained with English as a language and done in the Western world. And there is sometimes this fear of probably, is it going to culture, language, and other thing? How much of innovation that has to happen here? I know lots of things happen within Hyderabad ecosystem, Triple IT, and many others are doing. What's your perspective when it comes to language, culture, and how do we think about making sure AI is making more inclusive than making AI more suitable for a set of people kind of a thing? Any thoughts?
True, that's true. In fact, my first statement is to improve the quality of the life of all individuals. It shall and it has to be inclusive. Any democratic nation or democratic country believes in inclusive growth and cutting across the different ideologies of all the parties. So here where it requires English as such, if you compare, it's a global language right now. And also, when AI comes into picture, how do we literally see most of the products over here in the AI are in one language. So how do we integrate that in the regional mode, what people would like to demand and would like to see, and they would like to really, attach the technology for themselves. This is where AI also, in times to come, it's a simple technology nowadays. I think adopting to different regional languages and putting forward, if you see the GPS right now, you get the GPS in all languages right now to the core. And, AI helps very fast and swift. When somebody asked me, when I was asking somebody, I told I'm very, very naive to the technology. And please explain me, how do you define AI? He said millions and trillions of mind put together in a machine. Millions and trillions of the minds put together in a machine. And when you put a question or when some data analysis is being made, the trillions of mind, do the processing at the same time, gives you the result in nth second, where if one mind or other mind or 10 minds take so much of time, the trillions of the mind, that's where I think, as per I understand your question, that language will never be a barrier in terms of productivity efficiency, which is needed for the people. And this is a small and very micro issue which shall be tackled by AI.
Yeah, I know AI is also helping in many languages translation much faster than what it used to be in the past. So making it easy, speech recognitions and image recognition. I know more positives, but at the same time, I hope we all use for the right purpose to make it happen. Just a little bit on the other side, we briefly talked about before about the cyber security issues we talked about. AI is also creating significant challenges with the deep fakes and other thing. As a public and government, there seems to be a continuous challenges for governments to deal with it because the false rumors and spreading the messages going much faster than it. So what is that, public and government should work together in making this is much more better society instead of looking AI as a solving problem for everything, not a devil which is going to eat everyone kind of a thing. Any
technological advancements have these hazards. Deep fakes is the biggest thing what we are encountering right now. And this is a thing where we should really think about it. The technological companies or on the part of the government, as we policymakers, a regulatory framework has to be created. That's the real reason I was telling about the European Union coming up with a policy on AI. That's the best policy what I try to understand. And lot many things comes. Right now we are seeing 2 or 3 issues, the hazards like deepfakes and other issues. But in times to come, when AI comes into real existence, I don't think it's in a very nascent stage as of such. And it comes when the data goes on into the machine and it becomes so proficient in the machine. So many other things where the best of the brains can be used for the wrong purpose. So they may try to create some product which can be detrimental, right? They have created right now, and it will be so detrimental. How do we can control is the main important aspect at the global level, at the national level. Nowadays, we see we are not able to control the social media, right?
Yep. Yes.
One aspect, if you see the social media, there's no authenticity, no legality, nothing, but you can't literally able to, strike a limitation with the social media partners here. For good purposes, it's really good to disseminate the information or sharing the thoughts or providing the information required by the people. But the other way, if you see, most of these networks are used for some other purpose, which are detrimental and which are literally detrimental for the individuals and society at large. So AI also has this negative aspects, which we foresee. And times to come, I'm literally saying that we will follow the best models, which are already there in the global arena, and also try to evolve, because now the new R&D, what we are trying to ascribe, biggest facility in AI city, which is going to come in the next first quarter of January. So we will see that the R&D, we will try to evolve and try to see that some regulatory framework will be created for that.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. As a parent of a 16-year-old girl, it's always fascinating to know what government is also doing while individuals are doing. One last question from my end. I don't know how am I doing on time. The biggest aspiration of AI infrastructure, which actually require data, which you talked about as a state we are doing, and I'm sure Southwest, part of the dialogue, we are working with other states to really collaborate with that. But it's also required significant amount of GPU, semiconductor units, and large data centers, many other pieces. I believe maybe there has to be a coordinated or support from national level. How as a industry and how as a different states and national government should come together, because this is a very big in terms of bringing all these pieces together. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. The process, when we announced about AI City in the month of February this year, we just didn't mention just as a physical infrastructure what we are going to try to build. It's about the architecture which is required for this AI city. The state-of-the-art architecture should be here. That is the ultimate objective of this government. So for that, what need to be done? So the first level is getting through most of the inputs and opinions and suggestions from many global players, where the first step we took is having a convention of AI global convention. There we had some input. We invited so many partners to build this AI city. And we know that AI city requires high capital expenditure. High capital expenditure. When we thought about it, we never visualized it. When we are dwelling inside and deep inside it, millions of dollars are required right now. So for that, and when we started doing our exercise on a PPP model, now we are so confident about, because many partners have come to aid, assist, and to take part in this AI city. One of it is NVIDIA's, and you know how demandful is the GPUs from NVIDIA, and what is the waiting time for any GPUs coming from NVIDIA too. So they have involved themselves in getting us the GPUs. We know hyperscaling computing is required. So where we would like to see that AI city, which in the campus of 200 acres of land, which we are trying to base this, physical and technological architecture involved, which involves millions and millions of rupees required, where we are inviting PPP partners also. We just want to involve them, our partners, to come and to aid in terms of R&D. And we would be inviting many product companies to come and station them. And we would be going for so many innovations. And we'll be giving so much of impetus for the startups. There's so much of scope for the startups. And these are areas where we look about. And we have a school of excellence also we are designing over there. A school of excellence only in terms of AI we are designing. For that, we need absolutely in this federal governance, we need support from the center at any cost. We need support in terms of building AI. We need center support in terms of the semiconductor industry, fab. And we need in transformation of a governance into a digital transformative governance. So center support definitely is required because everything involves too much of capital expenditure. So for this, we are seeking the center's interventions in terms of our state initiatives and hope to see the center will also come positive because we are also part and parcel of our nation. And many a time, we would like to focus to the center also in terms of our semiconductor industry where we didn't get, even though we have put forward straightforwardly to the central government, that many players are willing to put up their manufacturing semiconductor industries. We couldn't able to get one. The priority is being given to one other state, and that is also anguish and agony on behalf of the state of Telangana. But times to come, hope the vision or, the thinking of the central government changes, especially in terms of the southern states too. They would be coming and aiding us. And tomorrow's in AI. Also, we would like to see their presence more over here. And we will push, we will demand, and we will seek the central assistance, the national government assistance in helping us to see that our technology grows further and becomes a major player in the global arena. This we don't want to compromise on it because we are a part and parcel of India, and Central has also an obligation to fulfill the requirements of all states. And the strength of our state is technology. And we would be taking each and every pie from the center through our means. So that is our idea and that is our goal.
Hello, sir. As you mentioned that state is harnessing AI for governance. As per my understanding, two of the state government departments, one food supply department and another home department, is utilizing AI quite well in the state. But there is one question that arises that when food supply department is issuing ration cards for the people through the help of AI, there is 1% problem that 1% of the people are not getting the ration card. That 1% is around 1,000 people or 10,000 people. They are not able to get the ration card because of the problems with the AI technology. On the same way, FRT, facial recognition technology, where AI is being utilized, even when there is 0.1% mistake in that AI, that takes one person's liberty. Police will arrest or they will put some cases on them. Then there will be, the liberty of that person will be taken. So how do you see that state is rectifying these governance issue which is coming because of the AI? And second question I have also, so Hydra is the talk of the town right now. So is there any plan for taking the data of HMDL leaks and putting the FTL into AI?
Right question. Earlier, I was also a food and civil supplies minister a decade back. So when it comes to ration card and all, who gives the data? Data is only entered into the machine, right? So when you enter in the data into the machine, so depending upon the data only, the AI comes into picture. So how well the data is being curated and is given is an important aspect. So when there is a 0.5% or 1% or 2% error in the data, you get the same data, right? AI can't be a human, and it's only humans which give the data. So over the point, from the down level bureaucracy to the top level bureaucracy, who gives the data from the village level or from the basti level, is the data which will be collected by an individual. And we are trying to come up with a family card right now. This is the best example where I can say is, suppose, for example, if I have lost the data of one eligible ration card applicant, so we are combining this family card with our Arogyasri, with all other pensionary beneficial schemes. We are synchronizing all this data from 18 departments altogether. So this AI does is, if something would have missed from one department in terms of giving the data to our AI, so some other department may not be losing the data, and that data, this data, all the data will be collected and see that most of it comes accurate. If something is not coming accurate, it all depends. We have not vet the data rightly. Hopefully, I gave you the answer. And second thing is, about Hydra and all the statics, all the data, or the satellite data, we will correlate and see that ultimately the common man is benefited. The guy like Sridhar Babu or Mr. Vasu sitting is not benefited. But our ultimate objective is that the common man should have all the benefits of any government action. So in terms of hydro or cleaning the Musi River, we will collect all the data available. For example, if I take one more minute, there is now data collection for the poor man's pension.
Has the government got any major plans to leverage these AI technologies to enhance public administration and deliver public services and take these things to next level, sir?
Sure. In fact, I mentioned, in terms of productivity, in terms of efficiency, in terms of accountability, AI helps and aids the governance. So this is where we have taken a cue from it, and we are trying to process our departments to adopt the AI into their streams of administration. And ultimately, it will definitely improve our efficiency. It will increase our strength in terms of deliverable of our services. And we will tend to see that now we have seen that carping, that is also deliverably of the best parking system what we can give it to the citizens. So these sort of all, if you see that, we can consider in the transport department, for example. If we consider for the municipal administration department, where the traffic is too high in volume. So these are all things where we will try to capitalize on it, and we will try to move forward. We are here to harness at any cost, to provide, the best of the AI technologies into the stream of our administration and keep moving forward. The three aspects: accountability, efficiency, and productivity. Ultimately, all these things become transparency to the citizens. Thank you.
I think few things probably I just start to concluding remarks for that. I think one is about education, healthcare, agricultural. There is a lot of work happening. Those of you who have not gone through, there is a 44-page AI strategy mission which is launched last month, Please go through a lot of your questions can address there in terms of key pillars, in terms of data assets, what innovation that's happening, as well as regulation by Telangana government. The second is about, there are many things Minister Garu talked about in terms of the AI city, skills university, how collaboration between various state governments that's happening. And most importantly, morning some speakers talked about how collaboration between various, government agencies and universities and other pieces that's happening. And I think B.V. Mohan Reddy Garu also mentioned about startups are going to generate significantly more employment. I think it's important for us to collaborate more and drive that pace. And I think government is working ahead of time in terms of policy, frameworks, and getting employability ready, because that's been a biggest question everyone is asking about these days. People getting into engineering colleges, the first question they're asking by the time I complete 4 years, is computer science is going to be relevant? Should I join AI? Kind of a questions. I'm sure while Minister Garu mentioned in a lighter note about Amirpet, whatever people talked about United States of Amirpet, which actually produced many people to United States. Now, actually, how do you bring more formal way to get people employable is a great initiative. I know there are many, many more things that can achieve. First of all, let me thank South First for organizing this, a dialogue, which is actually helping all of us to get together to understand better about many open items. And particularly in the minds of if some people are still thinking AI is here to stay, AI is cynical, AI is bad, I'm sure we're already getting a lot of benefits. Those of you familiar, I think our Telangana government police department using extremely effectively during rains and traffic. If some of you are survived and reached homes, it's one of the reasons about AI has been machine learning and computer visions effectively utilized. So please don't look at AI as the evil which is there. If you can utilize in a right manner, it's helping all our daily lives in a much better way. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.